What if I told you that in the last 10 weeks, I put on 20 pounds of muscle? I know what you're going to say. Oh, he must have gone on steroids. Well, I haven't. And I know what you're going to say next. Oh, he must have put on tons of body fat. Well, even with his extra 20 pounds, I can still see my abs there. So the bulk of those 20 pounds are still quality muscle tissue. And I know what you're going to say next. Oh, that must be his newbie gains. Well, this is my fifth year of consistent weight training, and not only that, I've only managed to put on 6 pounds of muscle for my entire newbie gains. So, how could this have happened to me, putting on 20 pounds of muscle in 10 weeks as a seasoned natural lifter? Well, first I need to substantiate my claim. So, here is the paper trail proof. On 14th of March 2026, my beginning weight was 74.8 kilos. On 4th of April, the weight increased to 77.3 kilos. On 25th of April, the weight increased to 80.7 kilos. On 9th of May, the weight increased to 81.5 kilos. And finally, on 22nd of May, the weight increased to 84.2 kilos. And if you make the deduction, that's a 9.4 kilo or 20.7 pounds of muscle gain in the span of 10 weeks. See, I was not bluffing when I said that I put on 20 pounds of muscle in the last 10 weeks. And before some of you jump out and tell me, oh, that's not 20 pounds of pure muscle. Let's be honest here. Even with the help of all the PEDs in the world, putting on 20 pounds of pure muscle is still almost impossible to achieve in 10 weeks' time. So I do think you can cut me just a little slack here for having several extra pounds of body fat out of 20 pounds. Now, back to the question. How did I manage to put on 20 pounds of muscle in 10 weeks as an advanced natural lifter? The answer is simple. Because my body has been over 85 kilos and even heavier for a substantial period of time prior to that. If you have watched my second series, Hacking into the Ultimate Hypertrophy Code, which is the documentary of my own fitness journey, you will know that I first broke into the 85 kilo plus territory back in October 2024 and stayed above 85 kilos for about 3 months before gradually dropping my weight back to 80 kilos in March 2025. And from May 2025 to September 2025, on my fourth round of bulking, I started from 82 kilos, reached 87 kilos in the middle of July, peaked at 92.5 kilos in September, and stayed over 85 kilos till the beginning of November, which was the 5th week of my recent 22-week long cutting. So from October 2024 to February 2026, my body has been over 85 kilos for 8 months, which is 50% of time for the last 16 months. And in light of this background information, now it should be entirely reasonable for you to understand why I was able to put on 20 pounds of muscle in the last 10 weeks. Because this is not the first time that my body is dealing with 85 kilos of body weight, but rather it is the third time. Because of all the muscle memory it has accumulated over the last 16 months, my body is already way too familiar with this kind of situation. It is well equipped with all the necessary knowledge and experience to deal with body weight up to 92.5 kilos. So asking the body to grow from 74.8 kilos to 84.2 kilos in the last 10 weeks, it may look like mission impossible at first glance, but to my body, because of the acquired muscle memory, it is actually a relatively reasonable task. Now, some of you may accuse me of using the term muscle memory in a wrong way, because in muscle hypertrophy context, the textbook definition of muscle memory refers to the phenomenon where previously trained muscles will regain size and strength much faster after a period of inactivity than it took to build them initially. However, while the textbook definition has more to do with the resuming of the training after a period of inactivity, have you ever wondered, can the same effect also be applied to the resuming of bulking after a period of cutting? The answer is a resounding yes, and that's the missing dots I want to connect in this video. Just like the muscle memory you have achieved during training will help you grow muscle much faster when you resume your training, the heavier weight you have achieved during bulking will also help you grow more muscle and much faster when you resume your bulking. So let's say that your end goal is to be 180 pounds with 10% body fat, which is a very common goal for a lot of people and a very impressive achievement for even 6-footers. But all you have been in your life so far is only 160 pounds soaking wet. Then it will be very difficult to persuade your body to put on extra 20 pounds of pure muscle, because your body does not even have any stored information of how to deal with this extra 20 pounds of body weight to begin with, let alone 20 pounds of pure muscle. Contrast that with someone who was previously 180 pounds with 25% body fat for a long time. Once they probably lean themselves down to 160 pounds, which is even more common than putting on 20 pounds of muscle, I can tell you that, it is going to be much easier for them to grow back to 180 pounds with lower body fat percentage, because their body already had years of experience dealing with the extra 20 pounds. So put it simply, once you are past your sweet newbie gains, if you want to put extra 20 pounds of real muscle on your frame, before your body figures out how to grow extra 20 pounds of real muscle, it needs to have a rough idea of what extra 20 pounds of body weight means first. And if your body has no stored information, then bulking is the fastest way for your body to access the idea of extra 20 pounds of body weight. You may only get 30% of muscle from the 20 pounds, but that does not mean that the rest of 70% of body fat you have incurred during the bulk is going to be useless, because without the rest of 70% body fat, your body only knows what extra 6 pounds means, and there's a long distance between 6 pounds and 20 pounds. But once your body is familiar with the idea of extra 20 pounds, now it is only a matter of how to grow more muscle out of the extra 20 pounds. And that is a much easier task than figuring out how to grow 20 pounds for the very first time. That's why I've always been a strong proponent of bulking, because bulking gives you the body the opportunity to pre-access some information of the ideal body weight you're aiming for your muscle growth. So in a way, you're actively expanding your muscle memory reserve through the process of bulking. The more rounds of bulk you go through, the heavier you push your body weight to, the more expensive your muscle memory reserve will be. All the memory will not be lost when you cut your weight back, even way back. And when you resume your bulk, the muscle growth is going to be much easier and much faster. If my body has no idea of what 85 kilo means, then it'll be a very slow and painful journey for me to achieve 85 kilos. And that was my experience back in 2024 on my third round of bulking. But now in May 2026, this is the third time my body is growing to 85 kilos. Practice makes perfect. And that's why I was able to put on 20 pounds in the last 10 weeks. That's it, guys. My updated thoughts on bulking. Think it as a necessary way to expand your muscle memory reserve. Hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you do, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. If you want to learn more about bulking, you can click on this link to watch my previous bulking series. As a matter of fact, I think I will put this video under the bulking series once I finish the uploading. But anyway, thank you for your support, and I will see you all in the next video.